Your looks is directly tied to your success. This is a proven fact. Henceforth, you're watching this video. The fact that you're watching this very video proves that somewhere within you, either consciously or subconsciously, you are aware to this. However, some people in society live purely in delusion, we can think of it as, where they completely neglect the fact of human biology, of what evolution has done to us. Now, understanding this is just part one. Recognizing this and then taking action to maximize one's appearance is the main aim of the game. Just being aware to a problem doesn't actually do much. There's not much difference between knowing that something exists but not being able to do anything about it, not being able to have an effect, versus not knowing it exists at all. Only once you can take action will you be able to see significant and quantitative life change. So, how are you going to be able to improve your appearance to the degree that it's going to influence your chances at being successful in any life endeavor, from business to relationships and everything in between? It's going to come down to what constitutes looks. What do people mean by looking good, being attractive, having a good face? It is going to mean that you indicate from your face signs of good development. Being properly developed through your face is the main aspect of good looks that people discuss. Why is it? Well, once again, through evolution. Evolution is the reason we think the way we do, as well as the reason why we're attracted to what we are. Projected faces, I'll begin with that. Why is a projected face seen as attractive? It's going to be because a projected face shows that there was adequate force being transmitted through the teeth, up the maxilla and along the zygomatic arches. And that is what paves the way for having hollow cheeks, a wide and masculine jaw for men, or just a projected jaw for men and women, and then cheekbones that frame the face properly. It's all about showing that you developed properly. So, how can anyone, regardless of their age, whether you're a man or a woman, actually go about indicating through your face that you had good development? That's only going to be possible by improving how force distributes itself along the bones. Understanding how force will distribute and then refining that meticulously based on your specific bone anatomy is the route. So I'm going to tell you, using your teeth is one part, but then understanding how the force travels up the teeth is going to be the second part. If your teeth are not always shut when you're using your tongue to support this part of the roof of the mouth, then no force is going to be traveling up here along the maxilla. So you need to ensure that your teeth are going to always be kept together, not clenched, but just securely in place. Now, when you combine this with what I teach virtually all the time regarding active tongue pressurization, which links into aero, the applied epigenetic remodeling of the orofacial complex, we are going to see that this induces mechanotransduction here, since the tongue is going to be pressurizing a force upwards and slightly forwards at the pressure points I've outlined. The first pressure point, as I always state, is going to be, to remind you, the hollowest part. So you're going to locate this by curling your finger, putting it inside of your mouth, and then pulling. Wherever the tip of your finger stabilizes is where you need to pressurize with that part of the tongue, not the tip of the tongue. Please never do that, but rather here. You need to do this at roughly a 30-degree angle. Second point is going to be this point. You can see it's the highest point, and you need to pressurize at roughly a 45-degree angle there. Now, when you do this, you're going to notice that all of the muscle fibers in the submental region are going to be tensed. Good. Second, you're going to notice that the masseter muscles are also going to tense. What does this show? This is going to show you that the tongue is properly generating force to then travel through the bone. The force is almost being transmitted through a medium, which is bone. Now, we are going to improve the efficiency of this, and we're going to do this by increasing the time and force in increments, not just all at once. This is where most people get it wrong. If we think about how, if you go to the gym, if you try to start doing bicep curls at an incredible weight, something like 20 kilograms on your first time, what's going to happen? It's going to go horribly wrong. Same thing here, but not just horribly wrong. You're going to overexert the tongue muscle fibers, the masseters, and the muscle fibers here. You're not going to see improvements. What I'm teaching you is just to help you to improve your appearance so you can see greater life success. Life success is dependent on facial development, as I said, and this is a direct technique to over time improve your facial development and your perceived facial development. So, slowly, day by day, improve how much force you're generating with the tongue, as well as ensure that you are increasing the time that you are performing aero. Now, when you combine this with tracking down, so every day getting a notepad and a pen and then writing down how progress has gone, what's going to happen? Obviously, you are going to see improvement. This is a fact. When you compare the version of you, who, there's 3 versions, who does nothing, the version of you who tries to listen to what I say and does aero, but doesn't really map things out or track anything, and then the best possible version of you, the version of you that meticulously notes things down, and it doesn't have to take you a lot of time. It can literally be a 2-minute activity. What's the differences? Well, the differences I tell you are going to be the difference between getting worse, inaction, doing nothing, very slowly improving, or very quickly relative to the middle, improving. Why is that? It's going to be the difference between trying to get to a destination with no map, no GPS, no understanding of where you are and where to get to, and you're literally just walking in circles. There's a 99% chance that you are going to walk the wrong way. Imagine you're trying to go from A to B, but you don't know where A is and you don't know where B is. That is what inaction is. You're not doing anything and you're probably just going to walk in the wrong way. The middle part, where you're not tracking where you're going, is going to be having no understanding of where you are or the terrain, but just knowing I need to be walking northwest. Let me just walk roughly the northwest direction some way. You don't know, you have a 45-degree arc where you could walk. Sooner or later you may get there. That is what trying to do what I tell you without tracking is going to lead you on. The third, having the destination, knowing where you are, and then having the map as well. When you track, you can see how improvement is. It's quantitative data. Quantitative data is what, when you synergize with using what I teach you, is going to allow you to see improvement. So ensure that you're tracking this down anywhere it is. Now, in addition to that, I have recently opened an advanced YouTube channel where I'm discussing everything that I teach here in much more depth, and you can learn more there. Now, in my advanced YouTube channel, it's still going to be generalized. It's impossible for me to be able to help you specifically through a video. That's unfortunately impossible. Yet, I will still be able to extrapolate the data from all of my one-to-one clients and then take around 5% of that, which can be used by every single person here. And that 5% will get you to a position that is obviously better than where you otherwise would be. It's all about bettering yourself step by step. On that note, watch my advanced YouTube videos. If you haven't watched my other videos on this channel, rewatch them if you need to, really get the understanding in, and I'll see you next time.